Welcome to iDAS video channel. In this video, I would like to show some enhancement and improvements we did in iDAS version 12.4, which I didn't cover in other videos. The first improvement I would like to mention is that for the profiles from corridor or dynamic profiles from corridor, you can use offset assemblies. Previously, any codes from those offset assemblies were ignored in that window where you can assign the codes. In this version, you can use offset assemblies. They can be used for the dual carriageways, or in this case, they're used for the cycling path along the road. And if I go to that command, I go to profile feature line, then there's a new option, selected corridor profile. So you could use that option. I will use a corridor list. Then if I go to those codes, all the codes from the normal assemblies and offset assemblies are shown here and can be used for the profiles. I will cancel for now. And when it comes to offset assemblies, they can follow another alignment. And it is important to mention that when it comes to levels, the levels are projected perpendicularly to the main alignment, not to the another alignment, because the red line is not the correct what we display. It's not a correct projection. It goes perpendicularly from the main alignment. So if there is a level 219.172, I will go to long section, add a change to 60. This is a change to 60. Let me scroll or zoom in there, and you can see the elevation is exactly the same, 219.172. So this is exactly as it should be. Let me go to another drawing, and another improvement which we made is on a command set data source. I go to profiles, set data source. Very often when you change the profile view band set for the pipe networks, you need to reassign the pipe network which you want to use for your profile view bands. And we did some improvements here. You can select multiple profile views, and you can also remove them from the list if you wish to. So you can go, let me stretch it a bit. So you can come in here and you can specify whether you want to leave them there or if you want to remove them. If you remove them, you can select remove, or you can remove all. So you have a little bit more options for the selection. And as you can see, for the pipe networks, we do also have a list. So if there were multiple networks, it's easier to select them from the list rather than from the drop-down menu. Then I click OK and done. So this is another improvement. And then I go to command adjust inverts. There was a problem that for the adjust pipe invert elevation, if you wanted to raise or lower the entire network by a negative value, it was not possible in a previous version. The negative value were excluded, or it was not possible. So now you can use the negative values. Then let me cancel this window. I'm going to storm and stormwater wizard. Any wizards for pipe networks such as stormwater, sewer, water reticulation wizards, they have a back and next buttons, so it's easier to navigate than using just those buttons on the left hand side. Let me go to cancel, and we did a lot of other improvements on the various dialogues, but it's not that important to mention it in this video. I would like to mention one more thing. If you go to resources, you can go to support folder, and then under the assemblies, there is a new SANRAL Cut fill subassembly version 20. This is the new version which will work on Civil 3D 2018 up to 2024, so version 20. If you want to know what's new, you can always go to support help, or you can open help file from here. It depends what you prefer. If you open the help file, let me open it now. I will drag it over. This is the help file. You can always go to iDAS support files, then assemblies, SANRAL Cut fill, and then version 20 improvements. There was some improvement in a plan, how it draws the feature lines. And then let me open drawing on the latest template. I will go to File, New, and I will use ANZ with part list, but doesn't matter if I use a ANZ or any other template for this exercise. And I will open the prospector. Not the prospector, actually, I'm going to settings. Sorry, the drawing is still opening. Settings, then I go to pipe networks, part list, and there's a utilities part list. I go to edit, and we got request from the client that the wall thickness should be very small. Currently it's set to 0.1, and the reason for that is that if you have a utilities, you often know the outer diameter, but you don't know the inner diameter and wall thickness. So that's why it is easier, okay, if the wall thickness is very thin, very small, the inner diameter is equal to outer diameter. So it's much easier to recreate those utilities networks. Let me cancel. So that's another improvement. And finally, as you could probably see in another video, that I used some Headwall structures. If you go to structures under the stormwater, either in a ANZ template or RSA template, you might not find them here. I will add them in the next release, but you can always go to add part family. Then you can go to iDAS ANZ wing walls and head walls. This is what they look like. Okay. Then right click, go to add part size, tick table. You can specify whether you want to specify material as a concrete or RC. Click OK, and then change the style to Headwall 3D solid. It was the Headwall 3D solid. OK, and for the rules, stormwater. OK, OK, and now you can use those head walls for your design. So those are basically the other improvements we did. Of course, there's a lot of other small changes. You can always check our iDAS What's New document where you will get more information.